Hi there, Sarah Orchard, BBC. Good to see you both. John, just first of all, it looks like you might have a full bill of health. How is everyone?
Yes.
Brilliant.
We are all healthy, yeah.
Right then, Ellie Kild straight back in. Can you talk us through how she's been going in training, and was there any thought process at all about maybe bringing her in onto the bench?
No, she's progressed right through her entire HIA protocols, S&C, medical S&C, done a really good job. You always probably wait for maybe a return, because you don't know what these things do. But she's hit all those markers and prepared well.
On Ellie returning, who has the drum now been passed to, Zoe?
I think Abby Burton and Lilia are taking reins again. So, yeah, they're very good. They'll get the audience going again. I think Ashton Gate was a good stadium for everyone to hear it in there. So.
We certainly heard it. Zoe, when it comes to France, you have such an incredible track record against them now, going all the way back to 2018. There is no disguising that they have had quite a tumultuous week. How are you as Red Roses approaching this game?
As we ever do, we absolutely love playing France. I think we've just concentrated on ourselves. We've made sure we've had a good training week this week, and we semi-final rugby, so we know that they're going to come hard at us and we're going to go hard back.
And just lastly from me, John, you said in your post-match press conference that you would speak to World Rugby around some of the refereeing decisions. Did those conversations happen, and did you get an outcome you wanted?
Yeah, we went through the proper channels. We obviously validated it, and we've had some really good dialogue. So it's pleasing that you're able to be able to communicate and use visual impact to be able to, I guess, going forward, they're going to be critical decisions.
Thank you both.
What does Ellie give your attack, John?
She's intuitive. She can break a game, can't she? She's not a person that you hold to structure. You've got to give her an element of structure because, but the rest is her freedom of decision, and she just happens to be an amazing athlete. That stride of hers when she gets into one-on-ones or creates a half a metre of space in a duel, she's very difficult to handle.
John, in your experience, is having a game like the French had at the weekend an advantage or disadvantage at this stage of the tournament?
What does a team do when they've have had a challenging week like they have? They're going to respond, aren't they? So, but like Zoe's informed you, we're hunting them as well. But it's always nice to know what your opponent's going to come with. We don't expect anything less, and we can't wait.
Hi, John. 22 of the 23 that featured out in Mont-de-Marsan. How much are you looking? Appreciate the stakes are different, but how much are you looking at that game as sort of an example of you've used the word ruthless a lot around that game, as an example of the performance that you need to produce this weekend?
That game means nothing. None of the warm-ups against France mean anything. I don't think they treat them too seriously. They only treat when something's at stake, and there's something at stake on the weekend. There's an end point for teams. They've been to be where they are. Also, I guess the visibility of where we go to next. We've both got to earn the right. We're both on the same path, and we have to eliminate each other. It's as simple as that.
You suggested you had real clarity around the fly half position and in fact everywhere, but bringing Zoe Harrison back, was that a really straightforward decision? And how impressed have you been by her this year particularly? Because she spent some time out as the side, she had a long injury layoff a couple of years ago, but it feels like this year she's maybe kicked on again.
For me, if you know me well enough now, I'm big on consistency and reliability, and the 23 demonstrate that. And that's what I've backed. Been really fortunate that Zoe has grown her game and is confident. So from that point of view, it's really important that she plays because she suits the way we are playing at the moment. We don't have to be perfect in this tournament. We just need to be effective, and she's very effective at the moment.
And Zoe, you've played a lot against France, as we've already reflected on. Do you think they've obviously had some challenging circumstances in the last week. They're without a co-captain. They've had a player suspended for biting. We think they're missing their fly half. Do you think that they'll almost bring an extra edge because of that? French sides often, show a little bit more when their backs get against the wall, as they've been in recent games against you.
Yeah, definitely. I think adversity always brings a team together, and like Mitch said, it's a semi-final, so there'll be absolutely no holding back. But also, like Mitch said, we are going to be hunting them as well.
Hello both. Zoe, I just wanted to ask about the pressure of semi-final week. Obviously, it's another week in Bristol, but how are the squad coping with, obviously, what is the ante ever being upped and trying to remain calm, trying to just focus on this week? Are there any extra measures to kind of almost distract the team and keep them calm over the course of the week and activities that you've had?
No, we've kept our process the same as what we always do. I think that's a really important thing that we do, and we've had a very good training week again. Got the conditions in the rain, so expecting some rain on Saturday again, and then had our bond evening last night, so we just chilled out having a little slumber party watching Step Up. So yeah, just keeping it nice and chill and just keeping our connections together off the field as well.
I didn't get an invitation to it.
We did go and play.
It's a good film.
John, can I just ask from a personal perspective, you've been involved in World Cup semi-finals before in different arenas. What have you learned from a coach about what to get right in this particular week?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it in particular this week, but it does cross my mind that you just have to respect this tournament massively. It always sends its curveballs when you least expect it, and you just have to stay focused on the process. You've got to keep your focus really, really narrow. You've got to make sure that your mates, your teammates, enjoy it. Ensure that people do have fun in it as well, and you just got to make sure that your game's effective. So. I guess when you've got experience from these tournaments and you understand, the ramifications of poor performance, you're definitely a lot more acute in the areas where opposition potentially could get access and force you into difficult situations. So I'm very acute, very aware of those things, and very respectful of any World Cup. They're very, very different tournaments to anything else in the world.
You've used the word effective a couple of times. I guess there's no more efficient weapon than the maul and the scrum, even if you didn't get as much joy from the scrum as you might have wanted last week. Is that something that you're not going to go away from just because you've got to this stage of the tournament? Famously in, I think, 91, England went away from what was effective in the men's tournament right at the sort of big pressure point.
Over the last 3 years, we can play any particular way. And if you look at the conditions that we were exposed to last weekend, it'd been pretty bloody stupid of us to not use that strength and go route one. And if the weather's going to continue that way, then we'll still be building pressure in that area. But we do have the ability to play any particular way. We've demonstrated that over the last 3 years. Who knows which way we'll go. But if the conditions continue the way they are, you're going to see set pieces still being a critical part of the way that we build pressure and create dominance.
And you make no apology for that if some people would say that's not the most aesthetically pleasing way.
I don't really care what other people think. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask John a bit more about kind of the growing pressure as we move through the tournament, because I almost felt you were smiling when Zoe was asked about it before. Can you kind of share for us how you're helping the girls and what your kind of advice is to them with it being a home World Cup as we now get into a semi-final weekend?
We just stay focused on the process all the way. That helps you regulate your emotions and just narrow your focus, because that right now it's there's four teams aiming for the top. So that allows you to keep distractions out of the way, but amongst that, you've got to make sure you have fun. And these girls know how to have fun. I don't need to get in the road. And right at the minute as well, at the stage in the tournament, one of the key messages to the staff is always make it normal and easy, and get out of the girls' roads. They've got it. They know what they're doing. So if you get in the road and intervene too much, to me that creates hesitation. Good clarity, freedom to do what you do, but you also understand the role that you have to play, all good aspects that allow a person to be themselves and get on with it.
Any further questions?
Zoe, before your semi-final, you've got the small matter of New Zealand, Canada. How does that work as a squad? Is it another slumber party and kind of viewing party, watching it all together, or between their individuals in their room doing a minute prep?
It will be on in the team. Yeah, I think we probably will. We were speaking last night. I think we'll all get together and watch it together. So yeah, it'll be a good moment for us.